at Central Electrochemical Research Institute, which is well known as a CRI. Has also worked as a mechanical engineer at Thermax and Mather and Platt companies for a few years. After that, he dedicated his life for the service of and mission of Srila Prabhupada and playing a role of a celibate monk, youth trainer and mentor, and corporate advisor. Also, Radheshyam Prabhu is a founding director and president of ISKCON youth wing known as Voice, which shuts your noise in the heart, which you just saw in the drama. There are so many noises in the heart, but this voice plays an important role in training youth. Voice stands for Vedic Oasis for inspiration, education, culture, and education. So Voice also trains youth in various leadership aspects, and Prabhuji leads all those courses. Prabhuji is president of ISKCON Pune, which has a flourishing community of 6,000 devotees. It's one of the role model for whole ISKCON world. Prabhuji is also one of the president of ISKCON Abid's Hyderabad temple, and Prabhuji regularly visits USA for training youths over there, giving them a Vedic culture. He is giving seminars and courses in various prestigious universities like MIT, Cornell, Texas, Boston University, Stanford, and various universities. He is in demand everywhere. And today he has taken his time and giving his association to all of us. So let us welcome Prabhuji by loudly chanting 3 times. Haribo! 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 Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Who plays, Madana? Who? Are you right? Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Once more, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama. One last time, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama. करेगा पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की श्री श्री गिरधारी गोपाल की श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome all of you for the monthly Prerna festival. We want to thank the participants in drama. They made it very poetic also and very dramatic also, very interesting. Give them one applause for them. So very close to that theme that I was also planning to speak today. I think they made it relevant to the topic today of easy versus hard choices. The reason I chose this topic is I felt that every times the youths are faced with great challenge in making the right choices. How they know what is right, what is wrong. Many of them have come to know because on one hand, the social media explosion, as much damage as it has caused, it has also done probably equally good also, because the spiritual videos, the sermons and the short talks and dramas and darshans from the temples, it has been reaching to the eyes and the ears and the hearts of millions of people also. So now Bhagavad Gita has become a well-prescribed book in many of the universities. Recently, Indira Gandhi University prescribed it as a 2-year course also now. IIMs are having Bhagavad Gita classes now. Many IITs, NITs are also having classes nowadays. Inside the college, for hundreds of students, it's prescribed as an elective course. So, in that sense, the students are quite becoming aware of what the reality is. Nevertheless, just like in a Mumbai unit train, when you want to board the train, you see people gushing out of the train, isn't it? If you go and stand in the front, they will just push you. Intelligent youths who want to get into a train, they stand at the edge of the door. As soon as people gush out, and they enter inside. So nowadays, the force of the ambience in the world around us pushes us to make wrong choices. That's why I thought it would be meaningful to do this topic today. Like you see, this kid is saying that he likes to play all day, but he knows very well that mom wants to see him study. So all of us instinctively, we have certain propensities and tendencies to do things which are very entertaining, which we feel very cool and very jolly and very easy to do. We want life to be smooth sailing, easy going, to be a bed of roses, to be enjoyable always. But we also have some important duties to do in life, like this boy has to study. Similarly, TV may make one feel that it makes one feel very cool. When exams come, he becomes a fool. Huh? Because so many books are not covered. Huh? So much syllabus is pending. I remember in our college days, and during the summer vacation, we would purchase the books. And we were a group of students who used to study, just go through the books and just get a feel of the subject. Then when you go to the college classroom, when teachers are teaching, it will be very fruitful for you to learn. And then by the time 3 months are over, your syllabus is almost over. Then you can switch over to foreign other books after that. You can study to get the subject more deeper understanding and everything. Then in the preparatory leave, you just have to do a second or third revision. And you can go to the examination very cool without much anxiety. So Gaurang Prabhu used to say, two people are very cool, one who is well studied and one who has not studied at all. Because the second fellow knows that he is not going to get anything. So he is not having any tension. People in between always have some tension. So this boy is feeling things are piled up now. Now he doesn't know how is he going to complete. So because he made an easy choice in the beginning of leading a very cool life, watching TV, playing games, roaming around and everything. Now when exams come, he is in tension. Similarly, snooze alarm, sleep in bed. People like, especially in winter season, we need somebody like this to wake us up. If you have a good friend will also get up and study and they'll wake you up also. So waking up is difficult, but once you wake up, it's very nice. Like for example, the early morning, in a cold winter, if you cover yourself with a blanket, how many of you feel very nice? Maybe honest. Huh? Yeah, correct, no? You feel one type of happiness. I have experienced 3 o'clock, my watch would ring, and it was just 5 minutes I will take rest. Then after 5 minutes, you look at the clock, it shows 4 o'clock. Your experience of that, isn't it? How the time flows like anything very fast in the early morning, isn't it? So, on the other hand, if you get up from the bed and then you switch on the light, you take a bath and wear tilak, and wear the dress, and then come and sit and chant, between 3:30 to 4:30, 1 hour in the temple hall, how many of you feel that to be more happy? Isn't it? That's another type of happiness. So, what is the difference between these two happinesses? The first one is tamaguni happiness, which is happiness from laziness and lethargy. Second one is sattvic happiness. So, what is the difference between these two happinesses? The first happiness is happiness in ignorance. Second is happiness in knowledge. So, it's a higher standard of happiness. After bathing, your body is clean and the mind is rendered clean by chanting in the Brahma Muhurta time. And meditation is very calming to mind. It gives a very blissful experience. It strengthens your mind. And it gives you energy for the whole day to be brisk. So I can tell you from my personal experience, for many years I have been sleeping between like 8:30 to 2:30 or 9 to 3. That's my sleeping time generally, most of the days. But if I do that, I don't have to lie even 5 minutes during the daytime at all. 18 hours straight I can work. Oh, somebody may wonder, how is it possible? Because this time of the night, 9 to 3 or 9:30 to 3:30, your body does inner repair of the body. Inner wear and tear of the body is done for the metabolic systems and all. They just like overhauling a car which has been driven for 5,000 kilometers or something like that. The daytime body is externally active. In the night, the body is internally active. So, students who keep awake after 10, say to 11 or 12 or 1, even if they sleep 8 hours or 10 hours, still they feel very drowsy. You can ask anybody. Huh? Even after 8 hours, you're not satisfied. You feel, I haven't slept enough, they say, after 8 also. But if you sleep 6 hours, 10 to 4, you rise and say, all day you can work. So, see here, this was sleeping all day on sofa and catching up extra. Night also he sleeps, day also he sleeps. But if you go to bed early, then you can rise early to shine. Briskly you can get up, isn't it? Mhm. Similarly, when the smartphones came originally, we found it very handy. 2 dozen things you can do with the smartphone, isn't it? You can use it as an alarm clock. You can use it for finding the North Pole, South Pole, direction. You can use it for chatting. You can use it for emailing. You can, have Google links, click and fill up so many things. People use it for typing the notes. Like that, many things other than phoning, many other things people do. The original purpose was phoning. So many other things. People can live without their wife for a week, but not without smartphone. Huh? It has become such a necessity now. Huh? Even if wife goes to her parents' home for a week, they won't mind. But imagine, tell them 1 week I'm going to take your smartphone. They will say I will die. I can't live without it. So we have to ask this question honestly. Is smartphone assisting my purpose, or I am becoming a slave of smartphone? Like, look at this fellow. How many phones he has? 2 or 4? Huh? 3. Huh? So we can become a victim to smartphone. So to be able to say no to smartphone, it's a hard decision. When I was traveling in America, there was one CEO of a company. He said weekly, one day, he keeps the smartphone in his bureau and locks it. Because he does digital detox 1 day in a week. I said, CEO of a company, how do you manage it? He said, I have to do it because doctors told me. He said, otherwise I am getting excessively stressed out. So now people are coming up with digital detoxing. Go close to nature, take a fresh breath, be under the sunlight, you know, be near some water body, or go for trekking. Many people, many big professionals are trying to do these things because nature is mother. When you come closer to mother, you feel very cool and everything. But the modern day synthetic society, synthetic office and surrounded by machines also makes us like machines. Eventually, we become slaves to them. So here is the interesting point: easy choices, hard life. Hard choices. That means if we want an easy choice in the beginning, just like that kid was playing all day, then when exams come, it becomes very hard life. Huh? But if you're ready to make hard choices in the beginning, which is called austerity in English, the word austerity means voluntary inconvenience. You accept knowing well that eventually it will produce long-term happiness. Just like when you go in the road in Bombay, some places they are repairing the road, isn't it? They put a board, you know, please bear with us for a short-term inconvenience, for a long-term convenience. Because once the broad road is made, then it will be very comfortable. But for some period of time, you have to tolerate the work going on. How many of you don't like the work going on in the road? Because it makes the road very narrow, isn't it? Find it very difficult. But you know very well, it's done with a purpose. So you tolerate. Correct, no? In the same manner, in our life also, certain austerities like sleeping early, rising early, chanting the holy name. I remember, when you chant the holy name, we have seen, take the bead bag and chant. We'll be wondering when will that this one come. Huh? It looks like an endless chain going on and on. Huh? I used to think probably it has fallen off or something. It's not coming. So even to chant one round in those days would be like a Herculean task. Huh? In the very early days. Within that 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we used to chant together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So we close our eyes and chant and slowly open eyes and see where is it coming? When is it going to end? But eventually we saw that after that you can chant even 16 rounds. One round was so difficult eventually, which means many of you here are chanting 16 rounds, or 8 rounds or 12 rounds. Your willpower has increased. Your ability to sit down and chant, which means your mind has become very nicely managed and subdued, and your willpower has increased. So you are able to say no to the foolish demands of the mind. Hmm. So that this is an austerity. Chanting is an austerity. Reading Bhagavad Gita daily, 1 or 2 pages is an austerity. Hmm. Coming in the association of devotees and not doing impure things, that's an austerity. So if you are willing to take the austerity, that is a hard choice. Hmm. Like imagine one of your friend comes and tells you, hey, do you have the guts to hold the liquor bottle? You can ask him, do you have the guts to hold the bead bag? Isn't it? If he says, hey, do you have the guts to hold a cigarette? You can ask him, do you have the guts to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning? Because they go to sleep only at 4 a.m. Isn't it? How will they get up? Isn't it? So he thinks he is smart, but he is smart in a foolish way. You are smart in a real way. When you act purely, live proper life. So therefore, for most people, these choices are called hard choices. They are difficult to make because the hard choices, why are they called hard? The reason is this. For example, imagine you have 3 months summer vacation. How many of you would want to purchase the books of the next year and want to go through it during the summer vacation? How many? There will be very few. Is it not true? Because your 3 months vacation, why to study the books of the next semester, correct? No? Let the college open, let the teacher start, and slowly we will also get the books. Then what happens when the teacher teaches? It doesn't make much sense to us because we are not catching up with what teacher is teaching. How many of you experience, you go and sit in a classroom, whatever teacher is speaking looks like Greek and Latin because you haven't seen the book. Experience of that, correct? That means you are wasting the summer vacation and you are wasting the classroom time also. Correct, no? So we are just wasting. That's why we have to make a hard choice that good things, no matter what, how difficult they be, we should be willing to do it. That is called austerity, which is good for you. So I'm going to show you a small video clip. Please observe it carefully. And at the end, I will ask you some questions. So you saw multiple choices. Both of them are both of them making two different choices, isn't it? So one of them is preferring to eat some salads, and that fellow is eating junk food. You saw that in the beginning, isn't it? And after that, you will see that, this fellow is kicking away the gym. Huh? Other fellow is doing the gym. Therefore, this fellow became fat. He got obese. Huh? Whereas the other one was slim. Huh? And he maintained his body well. Then this fellow you saw, what was it? Was it YouTube or Facebook he was clicking? Facebook, yeah, it was Facebook he was clicking. The other fellow, what he did, he was taking one portion of the work to be done. Was tick marking, correct, no? To-do list. How many of you would like to see the ticks going 1, 2, 3 regularly? You would like to do that? We wish we can do that, but most often it doesn't happen. Huh? When this fellow was seeing a big load of work, just moved it aside, huh? And then he got into Facebook, isn't it? Huh? Similarly, when phone calls came, this fellow was picking up and talking at great length. You saw that? Whereas the other fellow, what was he doing? He was cutting the phone because he had a habit of picking up. Generally, we all do three things in the day. Early morning, we should plan. In the daytime, we should work. In the evening, we can interact. Uh, And when you're going to bed, you should never make a plan the night. You should think that the whole world is sleeping and moon is shining and stars are shining in the sky. Now it's time to sleep. You have to prepare your mind like that. Because if you make a plan at night, you won't be able to sleep well. And the plan should be made in the early morning. And when you rise early in the morning at 4 a.m., the prayers, the affirmations, the creative and innovative thoughts, simply by calmly listening to mind, we can come up with a lot of wonderful plans in the early morning. So in the early morning, we can make plan for the day, plan for the week, plan for the month, plan for the whole year. We can make early morning, and then we can start executing the planned ideas during the daytime because morning between 9 to 2 or 9 to 3, your energy level is very high. Then we should work. So plan, work, and then evening interact with the family, isn't it? So one fellow asked me, Swamiji, is it all right if I interact with the family in the morning and then I do my work in the day and then prayer I can do in the evening, chanting and all that. So 1 week later he came to me and said, if I interact with family in the morning, I quarrel with them in the morning. So better that you do prayer. Go to the prayer room, chant. Then your morning time is very conducive for chanting Hare Krishna, Brahma Muhurtam prayer, reading Bhagavad Gita, and thinking pure thoughts that give you energy for the whole day. You'll be very fresh all day. And you get the inner strength, like tenacity to become a shock absorber, to tolerate all the challenges and out of negativity the world throws at you. Once you've done the prayer in the morning, it's like a bulletproof jeep. Bullets cannot attack you. Recently, Trump, there was a bullet. He was marginally saved. Of course, he was not in a jeep. But if you chant the holy name in the morning and you read Bhagavad Gita a few pages and you heard some good lecture, and then in the daytime, your body and mind are like a bulletproof jeep. You will not be harmed by the negativity around you in the world. So, in this way, that fellow was very intelligent. He was cutting the phone. He knows this is the time to work. If I'm going to take all the phone calls one by one, how many of you have experienced multiple WhatsApp messages come, by the time you keep on replying them, suddenly 4 hours are passed. You experience it, right? Isn't it? So he was very smartly cutting off. Because he's not going to leave them, he will attend to them later. Then what was he doing after that? Ah, both of them were going to the party, but this fellow sat in the party. You saw that? Other fellow never sat, he was standing. He went and just waved the hand and picked up a bottle and then he went away. And he didn't waste time in the party. And while going in the car, what were they doing? One fellow was hearing some breaking news, radio news. See, the breaking news can break your head, but they have no solution. Every morning you open the radio, you get breaking news. It only increases your tension. Already we have tension. It increases your tension, isn't it? But the other fellow started hearing Bhagavad Gita audiobook, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. He was completing. While going, he could hear something very meaningful, purposeful, valuable. He's adding value to his life. Very smart, isn't it? Yeah. Anything else I left out? These are things, right? Huh? Which one, gym habit? Yeah. One fellow was kicking away the gym, other fellow was regularly doing. At the end of the day, one fellow was obese, other fellow was slim. Correct? You saw that. So why are they showing repeatedly? Because we tend to repeat what we do once or twice, and it becomes a habit. When you make repeated choices, it becomes a habit. The same is true for good habits and bad habits. I heard an interesting story. Uh, Once mom saw that her son is playing all day, not studying at all. Tell him, beta, you go at 5, come back at 6 after playing, then let's sit together and study. But he won't come. He will come at 9. Yeah. So she watched him for a month. Then one day she took him to the garden, told him that, see, look at this small grasses, can you pull them out? So he could easily pull them out and give it to mother. Then she showed little bigger grasses. With little effort, he could pull them out. Then she showed one sapling of a plant. She asked, can you try that one? Of course, he twisted it and with great effort, he pulled it. And then she showed a bubble tree. Yeah. You know bubble tree? Bubble tree is a thorny bush. Beta, can you pull that out? Boy never even tried also. He said, Mom, that's impossible, he said. Then she said, okay, chalo, let's go together. Then she took him to the garden. They sat under a mango tree. She plucked some mangoes and washed them and offered them and gave it to the son. And both of them ate, and the boy said, oh, these mangoes are so great. Huh? So then she taught him 3 very important lessons, which I'm going to tell you. Huh? These 3 lessons are very valuable for our life also. She said, my dear boy, look at these weeds. When they were very small, you could easily uproot them. Similarly, bad habits can be easily uprooted in the early phase, early stage. But if they grow deep, they become very difficult to uproot later on. Just like in this video I showed you, this fellow gradually got deeper and deeper and deeper into certain bad habits. Later on, it becomes a set pattern. Like cement, for example, when it is wet, when you walk with your shoes on, it forms an impression, right? But once the cement is set, then later on you can't remove that impression. It's very difficult. Of course, you may not be able to remove it, but you can fill it up, isn't it? Uh, so that is one lesson she taught, that if you detect any bad habits, remove them in the very early stage itself. And second thing, she told them that those bad habits which grow over a period of time, they become like this bubble tree forest. Then you will have to bring an axe to cut them. Enormous effort is required to remove them at a later stage. To cut the branches of the tree and cut down the tree. You can't even uproot it. You have to sow the mango seed, water it, put a fence. Came and told him, hey, he's making 20 lakhs, you're just making 5 lakhs. And then he found out why. Because that fellow, even if there is some fungus on the top of the bread or cookies, and brush it away and sell it. Huh. Whereas this fellow, what he would do, as soon as he would see fungus, he would not even feed it to animals also. He would throw away in the dustbin. He thought it is very conscious of the other living entities. Because he was a devotee, he was seeing from a spiritual point of view. But some people told him that you're a fool. You are losing 15 lakhs per month. You're not making money. This is the way the world is. The people in the world will pull your leg and tease you, especially when you try to walk the right path. Even Einstein said that statement. The right choices are not always the popular choices. You want to walk the right path, but there are many people who will discourage you. But this fellow had a very high integrity. He said, nothing doing. I will stick to my proper practice. Guess what happened? Within next 3 weeks after that, they had to pay with compound interest, billions of dollars. Practically, they came to ground level after that. Because if you lack integrity, we'll have to pay a heavy price later on. That's why those who are passionate money lovers, mad after money, they may instinctively want to make many wrong choices to make money. It may be very fun in the beginning, but the fun will turn into nightmare eventually. Look at this, this rat. which has got caught in the net now. How this fellow got into the net? Because he saw some pakoda hanging inside. And the rat thought, hey, some fool has kept it. And then he entered inside and when he pulled it, immediately what happened? He got trapped. Now he's unable to get out now. See, in between he's eating pakoda also a little bit. He has a desire to eat that. At the same time, he want to get out also. He's not able to get out now, going round and round. In the same manner, you will see many boys in their lives due to. So I asked them a question that I give you 4 buns, and only 3 buns have cherry. One of them doesn't have a cherry. And I tell you to take one. So one boy said, I will keep the cherry one with me. Other 3 I'll give it away. He said. And another child said, I will ask the children who all want one with cherry because some children don't like cherry. And then in case 2 of them want with cherry, I'll give them. And the other 2, I will take one. The other one will take, whoever doesn't want, I'll give the one with that to them, he said. So then I asked another difficult question. I asked them, in a train, generally children like to sit where? When you enter the train? Window seat. Say your sister also is there with you. Now you only have one window seat. And you are sitting now. Will you sit or will you give it to your sister? So some children thought and said, no, I will only sit. He said, I won't give. What if your sister cries? I said, okay, if she cries, I will give her. Some of them said. And there were some children who said, I'll tell my sister that every half an hour we will change position. You see, that's win-win thinking, isn't it? Thinking, win-win. So in home, sometimes you will see if parents have 2 children, like once there was one elder brother and younger brother. So whenever the father would bring a cake, the elder brother would cut the cake in such a way that he gets a bigger part. And he'll give smaller part to the younger brother. And the younger brother would cry. So father understood that this fellow is doing this. You know what he did? Father said, beta, one of you can cut the cake into 2. The other one will decide which part he wants to take. And now he exactly cut in the middle. He made sure. you know, you know. Now he understood very well that, my younger brother would take the bigger one otherwise. So in this way, in our life, how do we make decisions? Do we make win-win decisions? Or you make win-lose decisions? To make win-win decision is a hard choice. Sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag. You see, this kind of noble thought, let the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous become tranquil. May the tranquil become free. May those who are free set others free. So this is a very broad, prayerful thought it is. There is a prayer of Prahlad Maharaj in the 5th canto, where Prahlad says that Sarvas, he's saying that all over the world, Prastyastu Kalaprasidatam. He says that in the entire world, let all the envious creatures become pacified and not quarrel with one another. Let there be peace for all living beings. He's praying for everyone's welfare. Generally, we go to temple, we pray for ourselves. Or we may pray for the near and dear ones. But Prahlad is praying for whom? For everybody. So it's a very big heart, a kind heart, compassionate heart. Just like Lord's creation is like that. Like the sunlight is free for all, poor and rich. Isn't it? Like some of you may have solar panels in your house. You draw electricity from that. Do you pay to sun? Do you pay to sun anything? I heard that electricity boards don't allow you to draw more than some quantity of electricity. They have some restriction. But God doesn't charge you for anything. He gives rain shower, He doesn't charge you. He gives sunlight, warmth to the sun, doesn't charge. He gives you air to breathe, doesn't charge. He gives you mangoes and fruit juices, vegetables, fruits, everything. So in this way we can see God is not just a win-win thinker. He's even those who are atheistic people, He's giving them grains to eat. He says, okay, eat, and otherwise you won't be able to argue against me also. Okay, eat. Even to them, He is feeding them. You can see that, such a big heart. So, because God has such a big heart, his pure devotees also have such a big heart. So, there are three people who performed the severe penance, you all know. This is Ravana, performing penance to Brahma. When Brahma appeared, you know what Ravana asked him? He said, "My dear Lord, I want to get Amaratva, to live forever." But Brahma said, "Even I am not Amar. How can I make you Amar? You know, but I can give you anything short of that, anything else in this world." Then he said that I should have a, you know, great amount of wealth and I should subdue all the creatures and no devata should be able to kill me. And he never told one thing, no human or animal should kill me, because he thought animals and humans are useless to talk about. He thought they are all too small, he thought. That's why Lord Rama comes as Naralila, he comes. So his goal was to possess abundant wealth and kingdom and enjoy life for a long, long period of time. Then Kumbhakarna also performed the severe penance in the same Gokarna mountain. Same mountain, all three of them performed it. And when Kumbhakarna was very huge body he had, all the devatas were trembling. If this fellow gets some boons, we will be in great trouble. So he wanted to ask Brahma for two benedictions. One was Nirdevatvam. He wanted to ask. Nirdevatvam means, let me be able to eradicate all the demigods. And let me be a conqueror of all the demigods. That was one boon he wanted to ask. But the demigods prayed to Goddess Saraswati and said, please kindly twist his tongue so that instead of asking Nirdevatvam, he asked for Nidratvam. Nidratvam means what? Uh, please give me a long sleep, powerful sleep. Like that he asked. Uh, Similarly, uh, now Brahma actually told him that you will sleep for the whole year, but later on, you know, uh, there was a request based on that. Brahma allowed him, okay, 6 months you will sleep, get up for one day and again sleep 6 months. Like that. That was Kumbhakarna. And Vibhishan, when Vibhishan also performed the penance and Brahma appeared, you know what he said? My dear Lord, in all situations, whether rain or shine, let me walk the path of Dharma. In our lives, sometimes we may be put in challenging situation where we may slip and fall to the path of adharma. So he prayed that let me never, turn away from path of dharma. Like that he prayed. So he was a noble soul already. So later on what happened? These three brothers, but they took two different paths. You will see that. Here you see, Ravana had a moral dilemma. What was it? To steal another man's wife, is it proper or not? Oh, Sita is too beautiful for me to miss. Although she is another man's wife, I don't care. I will steal her. So he wanted to take her away. So our Shastras say, if a woman is, no matter how beautiful she is, if she is having a kumkum on her forehead, she's another man's wife, she should be worshipped as a mother. Matravad Paradareshu. It is said, another man's wife should be seen as a mother. So one should never consider touching another man's wife, and it considered a very terrible blunder, like what Ravana did. He was destroyed because of that. So he degraded morally. Kumbhakarna, he had an ethical dilemma. What was it? See, what is the difference between moral dilemma and ethical dilemma? Moral dilemma means what is right, what is wrong. Ethical dilemma means what is good, what is better, or what is bad, what is worse. Correct, no? Like, for example, one girl, she became pregnant somehow before marriage. Now, because of some improper union in her college days, now she was in a great dilemma whether to abort the child or to beget the child. So, which is bad, which is worse? To abort is bad, but to beget the child without marriage is worse. So, that is the ethical dilemma. She didn't want to kill the child. At the same time, she wondered what will the society do to me if I beget the child. So she had a very big dilemma, isn't it? So such things are happening because of free mixing. See, Shastras give women a choice to choose the husband. That's called Swayam Var. Like you all know, Sita also was allowed to choose. Devati. Similarly, you find many examples like that, even Draupadi also. A girl is allowed to choose a boy, but not freely mix with the boy. That is not allowed. Choice is allowed, but not mixing. After choice, she has to tell the parents, I like that boy, please find out. That is allowed. But because of free mixing, she got into this trouble, so she had ethical dilemma. You see. Similarly, Kumbhakarna had an ethical dilemma. Why ethical dilemma? Because he was thinking that according to dharma, my brother is doing wrong. He's bringing another man's wife. At the same time, I am related to my brother, you know, by blood relationship. So what do I do? So he got confused in this. So he was clouded by illusion. So he took the side of brother. He thought duty to brother is greater than duty to God. So he couldn't make that hard choice of walking the God's path. Correct, no? He couldn't do that. Like, for example, if, say, for example, you become a judge tomorrow. Say one of your relatives is on the court, but they have done a mistake and you have to charge them 1 lakh rupees fine, for example. So the family members will tell you, hey, why did you charge your uncle 1 lakh rupees fine? You could have saved him from this thing. So at the same time, you feel morally, I can't be wrong. I am a judge. Judge has to represent God, correct? No? So Kumbhakarna could not stick to that right thing. Whereas Vibhishan, you will see that he understood duty to God and citizens is far greater than duty to sinful brother. Now let me ask you a simple question. Say a boy, in Pune was trained in the battalion army for about 10 years or so. When the Kargil war came, he was getting ready to go to battle. His mother was crying. She said, you are the only son, better you stay at home. You don't go to battle. She said, what do you think? How many of you think you should go for the battle? You should go for the war. Correct, no? Okay, how many of you think you should stay back at home so that mom will be happy? Anybody? Yeah. Because when duty calls, you have to go. Because he has been trained in army for so many years. He has to protect the nation. So that's a higher duty than, staying at home and pleasing the mom, isn't it? In the same manner, Vibhishan understood the higher duty is to surrender to God and dharma and protecting the nation and not side with the adharmic brother. Correct, no? So he surrendered. So these are hard decisions. The hard decisions are hard to make, but he made the decision. Eventually, he became Lanka Naresh after Ravana, and that was not his intention. His goal was not to become a king. His goal was to walk the right path. Just like Yudhishthira Maharaj also. So, how do we make such hard choices or correct choices? It's very easy when you follow the acharyas and scriptures. Because scriptures give us a clear-cut indication. Tasmat shastra pramanam te karya akarya vyavastitau. It says karya means what to do, akarya means what not to do. They clearly tell you. Scriptures. This is like, there are man-made laws and God-made laws. I will show you how hollow the man-made laws are. At one time, in India, there was a policy that a child can be aborted up to third month. In America, the law was a child can be aborted up to seventh month. But later on, they found that the child's body starts moving and properly functioning and all, and they thought from 7 months they reduced it to 5 months. Then they said 3 months. But actually, according to Bhagavatam, when a man and woman unite, the semen enters into a woman's body and breaks the egg. Since from that time, the life is there. One doctor found in the very first month itself, when abortion tube was sent inside, he has recorded a screaming voice. Like that, this child screaming, even in the very first month itself. Which means, according to Shastra, the child shouldn't be killed. Unless there is a danger for the mother. The child shouldn't be aborted. So, why I'm saying this, God-made laws are like lines drawn on a stone. You can close your eyes and follow them. Whereas man-made laws will always keep changing. Now, for example, in some countries, living together is allowed now. So there are some boys and girls living in the same room nowadays. According to God-made laws, is it allowed? No. It is counted as illicit sex. One is allowed to live with a woman only if one is married with her. Is it not true? So now somebody may say, my country is allowing, so I am doing it. So then you along with your country head will go to hell together. Correct now? Because one fellow is passing a wrong law and another fool is following the wrong law. Then both the people go to hell, correct, no? Andayatandair upaniyamanas tepisha tantriam urudam nipatta. It says blind leading the blind, all falling into ditch. Just like imagine one blind fellow is running towards the ocean and another 2 dozen fellows are catching each other's shirt and running behind him with him. What you should do? Give a tight slap to him. And tell him, don't run towards the ocean, run away from the ocean. Isn't it? Huh? So therefore, if you want to know what is right, what is wrong, then one should go to the scriptures. Scriptures are actually law book, word of God. Huh? So when it becomes very clear for us, our acharyas are representing God and scriptures. So now, for example, when you make a career choice, should I be a singer? Should I be a football player? Should I be a photographer? Should I be an MBA manager? So what I should be? So many people are thinking about which direction I should take. Should I become an engineer or a doctor or a chartered accountant? So I have given some parameters here. The very first thing, whenever you do anything in life, make sure that you have the association of devotees. In whichever place you go, because in association of devotees, you are always able to protect dharma. Without association, you are lost. Like one boy, he got a job which was paying him 45,000 rupees in those days. And another job was paying him 40,000 in Pune. So he left this 40,000 job and went for 45,000 job because it was giving 5,000 more. So devotees asked him, where is this job? He said, it is in some Patal Ganga somewhere. So he said, the only problem is there are no devotees there. But he said, anyway, Prabhupada books are there, I can always read. So although he got 5,000 rupees extra per month, his entire devotion service was finished. He couldn't practice alone. Prabhupada says practicing devotion service alone is insanity. It's just not possible. You need good company, devotees. Secondly, the job that you do, is it according to your proficiency? Or is it causing you boredom? It is not fitting your proficiency. Like you cannot do a job which you don't like for your whole life, can you do? If you make a calculation between the age of 25 to 65, you work 60,000 hours you work in your life. So there's a calculation made like that. So many hours of your life you're going to give for a profession. So can you give for a profession which you don't like? Is it possible? So therefore, one should find the profession interesting. You should be able to learn. You should be able to grow. You should be able to develop yourself. You should be able to contribute something marvelous which thrills you and thrills others, isn't it? That's the second thing. Third thing, how should the job be? Some people say, mine is a cool job. There is no boss. Nobody asks me. I just sleep away on my table. Then life would be very boring. If you are in comfort zone, life is boredom. If you are in panic zone, life is nightmare. Then we should be in between, in stretch zone, where there's something called as flow happens. Flow means, you think you can't do it, but you endeavor for it and you're able to do it. That gives you a sense of thrill, that is challenging in your work. Then that type of job is required. And are you able to make a difference to the world? In 2016, Harvard Business School published a paper. The whole paper is about those businessmen who are feeling fulfillment of heart, and those who are cheerful, and those who are considered as men of high character, those who are truly happy in life. They all are giving charity. Their business is not for money making and enjoying life, but for giving charity for great causes. So in this way, if you see that you are making a difference to the world, then your job would be thrilling. There was one drugs company which was making medicine for life-saving drug they were making. But the people in the company were very bored. They were not working very hard. So what they did, they were given advice, send these people to the villages where this medicine is sold. So also the temple, we go out and distribute books to the people. Because when we see people are enthusiastically buying and reading and asking questions, then we become very enthused. Otherwise, life would be, boring. Because unless the jiva soul has a desire to A, B, C, D, E, so that it can be remembered easily. So when you make like sometimes boys come and say that, can I get a job, earn some livelihood. they are not intending to make a difference in the world. Then actually those boys I actually cannot perform the job so well. Job which pays you very high, but at the same time it doesn't give you fulfillment. There are two words in Sanskrit, Abhyuday and Nishreyas. Nishreyas means fulfillment. Abhyuday means accomplishment. Accomplishment means you can show off to the world, but inside you are not happy. And fulfillment means it gives you satisfaction inside. So when I ask this question to students, which type of job will you go? One job is paying less, but it gives you fulfillment. And which means 3 years one cannot go to college. So this is taking shortcuts. So what is the hard choice? Hard choice means, I will not copy, I will do my best. And going for easy choice means when the invigilator is little away, then copy from the friend, snatch the paper, copy. It may be very easy decision to do, but if you are caught, the result would be consequences would be severe. So one should think about long-term consequences. So some of the thoughtful right choices, many of you may be knowing this, associating with good books and good movies and music and friends, Hare Krishna music. See, if you are hearing metallic music, I'll just show you one small video. What happens? You can see the scientific experiment. You can see.
The film you are about to see has no characters. If you spare a little of your imagination, it is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
So when you play very nice, sweet music, it forms patterns of rice powder. You saw that? It's amazing. Similarly, when you're singing Hare Krishna in a particular formation, particular tune, your mind naturally rejoices and forms very, very healthy patterns. And there are, I have another video which talks about University of Florida research, which shows that chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna mantra especially, it reduces stress, removes bad habits, addictions, tensions and everything. That's another video also. On the other hand, right now you will play metallic music, you see 120 decibels. How these things respond, you will see now. See that? How the water bends, you saw that? When you beat that high decibel sound. And most of our body is made up of what? Water. That is why when you hear rock music, people bend their body. Correct. So it disturbs the biological rhythm. Like this.
And careful disciplines recommend meditational practices such as silent meditation, silent recitation of mantras, and also the verbal repetition of specific mantras out loud. A clinical test of the benefits of mantra chanting was performed on 3 groups of 62 subjects, males and females of average age 25. They chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 25 minutes each day under strict clinical supervision. Results showed that regular chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra reduces stress and depression and helps reduce bad habits and addictions. These results formed a PhD thesis at Florida State University.
Saw that, right? Yeah, that's what I said. So that is about chanting. A for association, B for Bhagavad Gita, C for chanting Hare Krishna, D for diet, and also do your best. And let Lord do the rest. So doing our best includes making the right choices. We should not fear after making the right choices. See this picture. On the left side road is easy going road. Right side road is hard choices. So when you make easy road, when you go on that road, you sit on social media and watch for hours, watch porn, or just lazily sleep all day. See the result of that. Depression, self-hatred, anxiety, eventually. Life becomes very hard eventually. When you make hard choices like exercising daily, reading, and, no bad habits like masturbation, things like that. And then self-respect, controlled life, happiness, all those things are awaiting you. So this is the heading today. When you make hard choices, then eventually life becomes very smooth for you. So it's not a very difficult thing to understand. For example, in your young age, if you lived a very simple life, later on when you get luxuries, you'll be grateful. For example, in one school in West, during the winter season, the teacher was giving winter caps and winter socks and winter gloves to children. And poor children were saying, "Thank you, ma'am, for this. It was so cold, freezing cold. Thank you for the winter gloves and winter caps and everything." And rich kids, when they came to teacher, they said, they just picked up and threw it off. They said, "What's the use of this?" We thought he'll give us some iPad or something. They said it's useless. Because they're rich kids, they already get it very easily. Things which come very easily in your life, you take it for granted. On the other hand, you will see that, when my father, for example, was a millionaire, he had 15 houses, 6 shops and everything. But he was very stingy in spending. He won't spend very easily. One time I lost my pencil, small pencil. It was inside some notebook. I asked for a new one. He said, "You have to show me the old pencil to get the new one," he said. I said, "That was only this much size," I told him. He said, "Okay, that's all right, but show me where it is." I said, "It's lost." I said, "No, you have to find out." So it took me 1 hour to find out inside some notebook. When I showed that, he said, "Use it for 1 more week, I'll give you next week." No? So then naturally when you grow up in life, you feel very grateful for whatever comes in your life. Similarly, if you too much eat sweets, too much eat very fine food, one day morning you go, they are giving puffed rice, or sorry, chipped rice. So one day they were serving breakfast prasadam, chipped rice. So one devotee saw that and said, "Chipped rice today. I thought there'll be uttapa or something. There'll be pizza or something." So then the serving devotee said, "Hey, chipped rice is very favorite even Lord Krishna in Dwaraka also." Because who took it for him? Sudama. He said, "Okay, thank you for reminding me. Okay, I will take it now." He said. So when you get very opulent food, then simple foods look too simple for you. Correct? No? That's why hard choices, those who take, like you've seen this Seat tires and other companies, when they show advertisement, do they send the vehicles on a smooth road or on a tough road? You've seen that? Big stones and mountain, they show like that. And then it goes, Seat tires, they put, you've seen that? Isn't it? They show, it goes like that. But why they want to show that if this fellow can survive on this road, on smooth road naturally, so we should not fear to do hard choices. We should actually accept it as a challenge. So how many of you are ready to accept 16 rounds challenge? Chanting. Many are already chanting, isn't it? Yeah. See here, see this picture. See, this fellow made the hard decision to climb up the hill. And then after going here, he just jumped to this other one. Correct, no? Whereas this fellow thought, oh, it's so nice to glide down. Why to climb up? So he glided down in the beginning. And then from here, do you think he can go up? It is so steep now, it is almost impossible. Now, whereas this fellow is going to reach the goal very soon. So, for example, eating for taste versus eating for health. So, eating for taste is a very easy thing. All kinds of bad things one may eat for eating for tongue. But eating for health may not be so palatable, but it is good for health. So, like this kind of, you know, this is very enjoyable gossip. But actually, gossiping makes our mind very weak. Because we become vulnerable, we become anxious, because we have spoken different things to different people. When word gets around, people will figure out who spoke what. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ki. On the other hand, if we can be good listeners, Lord Krishna, the whole first chapter of Gita, Krishna didn't speak a word. He just listened well. And then in second chapter, when Arjuna surrendered, then Krishna spoke. Therefore, there's a saying, one should listen so well that others can speak to you. One should speak so well that others can listen. So this is what Einstein said. What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right, he said. Yeah. See here, postponing. Krishna says, alasya. Oh, it's time to smoke. Oh, it's time to drink. It's time to nap. So like that, one may keep on postponing things. Whereas you do things on time and you're very happy. I'm finished. You feel very happy. How many of you feel like this when you finish work? Correct, no? Isn't it? Yeah. See, this fellow is depressed. When you're depressed, it said, worry may bury you. Then a lot of time is lost simply depressing oneself. One is cheerful in all situations. Therefore, it depends on your outlook also while making choices. For example, you go to a garden, you ask somebody, what is in the garden? Somebody may say, oh, it's all full of thorny bushes. Somebody says, the garden is full of fragrant roses. So who said it right? Who is right? First or second? Both are right, actually. But they prefer to see, one prefers to see thorns, one prefers to see roses. Similarly, those who are confident and cheerful in facing the situations, they can actually make hard choices. Like you heard the saying, failures are stepping stone to success. Actually, I have one article with me about Prabhupada going to America. Prabhupada faced 8 defeats, one after another in America. Do you know that? Like, I will just tell you only the headings I will tell you. When he saw in America, 1 year nobody was coming to his classes. Then he thought that I don't have my own property, my own temple. So I want to build a temple. So he found one hot man, one gentleman. He said it was a hall like this, 2 floors, ground floor and first floor. Hot man said, see, you can purchase this property. I can't rent it out, he said. Property was 7 lakh rupees. And Prabhupada was wondering, who will give me the 7 lakh? So in India, there was an Padampat Singhania who wanted to build a temple in America. So Prabhupada told him, can you please give me 7 lakhs? We can buy this. And Padampat Singhania saw this and said, no. I don't want a hall like this. I want to build a small but very artistic temple. But Prabhupada said, what will you do in a small temple? How to give classes? Why don't we take this? And Prabhupada said, if you want nice, meticulous, nice gopuram, you can make in the top of these 2 floors. But he didn't agree for that. So then Prabhupada put him on hold. Then he told the Hartman, sir, you also become one of the directors of ISKCON. I'll include your name. So kindly allow us to use this place and we will pay the tax for the building, at least. You can rent it out to us and we'll pay the rent and pay the tax. Hartman had no heart. He said, get lost. Either you buy or you quit. So that place was lost. Padampat Singhania also didn't give any money. Later on, Padampat Singhania made another temple in America. He spent 50 lakhs. He didn't give 7 lakhs to Prabhupada. So in this way, Prabhupada couldn't get that money. Then Prabhupada said, I have given in Bombay, University Book Depot. Find out. He called them and said, can you send me the money? My money is running out. They said, sir, nowadays religious books are not of great interest to people. So we are actually your dealers, but books are not going. Please take the books back, they said. That was another defeat. So money is not coming from the books. Padmachangani was not sending a single penny. And the Hartman took away the property he was not ready to give. No. And Prabhupada asked this Mataji, what's her name? Sumati Maharaj. He said, for your Balagopal, I want to make a temple in America. Can you please, you know, uh, send me some money? And also I want to bring some of my devotees from India to here. If you can also sponsor the ticket. Absolutely no reply from her. Huh? He didn't get any reply. Then we went to one Tirtha Maharaj, Prabhupada requested him to send Mridanga. And somehow Mridanga hadn't come from India also. He was just managing with a small, this thing, bongo kind of thing. And then he came to know that if Indira Gandhi can give permission, for money to be transferred from India to America, then he can build a temple there. But Indira Gandhi said, if you want to build a temple in America, you locally collect there, she said. I cannot allow from India to there. Prabhupada said, but I am actually spreading the culture of India in the West. Why didn't you allow this? But at that time she didn't allow. But then after her, Lal Bahadur Shastri became the president, isn't it? Prime Minister of India. Then he was traveling to Russia and then going to come to America. And Prabhupada was very confident because he had given him Bhagavatam before. Says to him, and he was very appreciative. Prabhupada that once he comes, I can get permission to bring money. But he said no. He also, of course, he didn't say no. He passed away in Russia only. He didn't come. So you can see defeat after defeat. 8 defeats Prabhupada faced in America. And lastly, there was one Mukti Brahmachari, who was Prabhupada's godbrother's disciple. He wrote to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, if you want help, I can come. I am a young brahmachari. I can assist you. Prabhupada said, go and ask your guru. If he gives permission, you can come. He is after all my godbrother. He will allow you. But his guru told him, don't go. This Swamiji Prabhupada is wasting time in America. They are all villagers, they are all eating cow flesh and all. Nobody will be becoming devotee there. Don't waste your time in this unnecessary preaching there. It's better for him to come back to Vrindavan and stay peacefully, he was saying. So this Mukti Brahmachari wrote to Prabhupada saying that, Swamiji, my Guru Maharaj says your attempt to preach in America is a ludicrous attempt, he wrote. And Prabhupada replied him back saying that when Lord Nityananda went to preach, in the first go he could not make Jagai Madai into devotees. Second time when he went, Madai took a pot and hit him. But we being followers of Lord Nityananda, even if we are defeated in our preaching, we don't mind because Lord is happy with our attempts. Sincerely, we are attempting to give Krishna consciousness to people. Even if they don't accept also, our very attempt is pleasing to the Lord. So Prabhupada said, I am very surprised to see your ridiculous letter, Prabhupada said. And he replied him back. And in this way, all 8 defeats came to Prabhupada one after other. But there is a saying, in Ulysses' poem, there is one section I remember, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. It says, which means, when going gets tough, the tough get going, it is said. When going gets tough, the tough get going. Prabhupada he was able to stay tough and maintain. After that 1 year came a big success for him. When he went to the park, and he did kirtan, and then hippies became happies after that. He was always confident and cheerful in the face of adversities. Some people are indecisive. See here, she is telling this one, and then now she will say the other one now. See that one. So they are always confused and indecisive. But when our vision is clear, then we can make a decision. Arjuna could hit at the fish, isn't it? And the clarity of decision comes when we study the Shastra, because Shastras talk extremely contradicting situations and how to reconcile them. They give us clue. Feeling insecure or jealous takes away a lot of our energy, time, mental energy. And those who are appreciative of others have an open mindset, and they can get clarity in life. Similarly, Tamaguna leads to suicidal thoughts, panicky thoughts. Actually, these things lead to indecisions. If one is thoughtful and curious, then one will be able to make proper decisions. One is harsh of speech. In Connecticut, one fellow was a crazy shooter. He shot some 18 students. You can see that. On the other hand, friendliness makes things very smooth and easy. So in this way, now we are running out of time. What I was about to show you, the next part was how the gunas affect the decision-making process. Now we won't be able to get time for that. I'll just show you. This is about Rajas. This is Rajas, one verse we will recite, very important verse. Vishayendriya samyogat yat tadagre amritopamam pariname vishamiva tat sukham raja samsmritam. That happiness which is derived from the contact of senses with their objects, which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be nature of passion. So the passionate, if you read this purport 18.38, Prabhupada very openly gives the example of how a boy and girl get attracted to each other. And first they want to talk, they want to see, they want to touch. And the result of that is very painful later on. He explains that. In that purport, you will read that. So the passionate desires, like what is this fellow doing? Is greedy fellow, isn't it? And this fellow is angry fellow. This fellow wants to get ahead of everybody in life. And this fellow cannot play in a team. He wants to always do independently. Yeah. And this fellow is condescending, criticizing. And this fellow is competitive. Yeah. This fellow drives out others. This fellow is micromanaging. See? This fellow is workaholic. See? And this fellow cannot give credit to others. He wants to get all the credit himself. So these are all passionate. This fellow is lusty. He got cheated, isn't it? So all this is passionate. Yeah. This is a rat race. The rat race, you run, and remain a rat only. So this is Sangha and Trishna. Sangha means attachment opposite sex. Trishna means thirst for honor. These are qualities of passion. So this is Satoguna. Yadadagre vishamiva pariname amritopamam tatsukam satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in mode of goodness. For example, when you sometimes get a wound in the knee when you're running and falling on the ground, say they apply some tincture. You know tincture? Any of you know tincture? How many of you heard about tincture? Tincture is actually like doctors use it as a first aid, for cleaning, for nursing. As soon as they keep the tincture, it's a medicine. Immediately it will burn. I will say. Then after that it will be very cooling. You will see that. Initially it is burning. Similarly, Sattva Guna, to rise early in the morning is like burning. It's difficult. Sattvic activities are difficult in the beginning. But once begun, the results eventually are amritam. Amritam. Eventually you will get happiness. Like you see here, devotional music, meditation, and sattvic diet, sattvic prasad, reading Bhagavad Gita, all this kind of activities, chanting. Yeah. So, sukham and jnanam, this is Sattva-guna. So, I will conclude with this reading Prabhupada's purport point, very beautiful point. If you have a strong sense of love for the Supreme Lord, then we can discharge our duty and at the same time remember the Lord. But we have to develop that sense of love, Prabhupada says. Arjuna, for instance, was always thinking of Krishna. He was constant companion of Krishna. And at the same time, he was a warrior. Krishna didn't advise him to give up fighting and go to the forest to meditate. And then Prabhupada says, we work not with our body, actually, but with our mind and intelligence. So if the intelligence and mind are always engaged in the thought of the Supreme Lord, then naturally the senses are also engaged in his service. Like I told you example of Vibhishan, told you example of Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjuna, all these people. Superficially, at least, the activities of senses remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. So the Bhagavad Gita teaches one how to absorb the mind and intelligence in thought of the Lord. Such absorption will enable one to transfer himself to the kingdom of God. So Sattva-guna is a very good springboard from where one can jump to the Vishuddha Sattva, remembrance of the Lord continuously. So, so the vital portion of my seminar I have finished. So I can take 5 minutes questions. I can take. Okay. Let us take some questions. You all have very sincerely and patiently, with rapt attention, heard the seminar. Now it's my duty to respond to your questions if you have any. You have the mic with you? Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
And there's a hand up there, 2 hands up.
Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you for a beautiful lecture. It was kind of a dream come true because I always listen to your lectures on YouTube. So it was a very thankful moment. So my question was, you left your job and you became a monk and joined full-time ashram. So how did you come to that decision, or what helped you to make that choice?
Yeah. Actually, I thought being a monk and studying the scriptures and teaching this knowledge to others is a very wonderful service. I felt it even in my school days. I had a group of friends with whom we used to have discussed philosophy, Bhagavad Gita. And at that time, we were not very clear about philosophy because we were all following many different organization books. But as I grew up, I was looking for an organization where I can dedicate my life. In my 8th and 10th standard also, I was thinking already. But my father insisted me to finish some degree, engineering or medicine, he told me. So to please my father and to get my sisters married and settled, I waited till my age of 25. So when I came to Mumbai here, IIT Bombay, then I came to this temple, I found this was a beautiful place. The devotees are high quality devotees and nice practitioners. And also I like the Prabhupada's purports very much. Because Prabhupada teaches that Bhakti Yoga is the most complete path. Karma Yoga engages senses. Jnana Yoga engages the mind in speculation. And Ashtanga Yoga engages the intelligence in focusing on the Lord. Whereas Bhakti Yoga, you give the heart to the Lord. And when you give the heart to the Lord, all other things run behind it, like intelligence, mind, senses, everything goes with it. So, and I also liked this Bhakti Yoga path because in this path, senses can be engaged in Lord's service. With eyes, you can see the deities. With ears, you can hear the kirtan. With mouth, you can sing the Lord's names. Other paths tell you to negate the negative. Go to Himalayas, like 3 monkeys. I felt it's worthy to join this organization and do this service. All right?
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, one more hand up. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it was a very wonderful class on presentation of goodness and so many more. So Prabhuji, how do we actually come to the state of practicing goodness in our day-to-day lives? Because
Yeah.
because sometimes when we have...
See, the 5 things I told you, ABCDE, association of devotees. See, there are 3 A's: association, activity, attitude. For example, if you come to the temple here and associate with these boys, then you are going to sing with these boys, you are going to dance, you are going to take prasadam, you are going to take darshan. That means whatever type of association you take, the activity will be corresponding to that. Imagine you went with some boy to movie, then they may smoke, they may drink, they may do things, and then those activities happen. So the association decides the activity, and then that activity decides the attitude. So whether you'll have a fine, sublime, holy, divine attitude, or when you go to bad association, we get bad attitudes. So the A for association, B for daily Bhagavad Gita, at least 1 or 2 pages reading. C for chanting, at least 1 round chanting daily, 10 minutes.
One more follow-up question, Prabhuji. For someone who's practicing Krishna consciousness for some time, if his nature is innate, passionate, how can he slowly rise to goodness? Because
actually, passion has a good side and bad side, both. Like in Gita, Krishna says, Shauryam tejo tirudaksham yuddhe chapi palayanam danam ishvara bhavascha kshatra karma svabhavajam These are all good qualities of passion. He's saying Shauryam means courage. Teja means able to influence others. And Dhriti means determination. Daksha means expertise, shrewdness. And Yuddhi Chapi Palayana means daring. So when passion and goodness combine, you get a visionary leader. You get. Like even our current Prime Minister connects with many saintly persons. And he learns many things. When he built the Ayodhya temple, he went to the Ayodhya temple. So because he is spending time with God and the saintly people, he is getting direction to manage the country. That means his passions are guided by the goodness. So saints have goodness and the king has passion, and the combination makes the king Raja Rishi, saintly king. So that is the way our passions can be given direction. Passion is like a flood and goodness is like a dam. Passion is like a mad elephant. Goodness is like a trained elephant. Is that clear? Yeah, thank you. Otherwise your head gets heated up also, due to all day activity, and you're dealing with the external world. Morning time is a chanting time, prayer time, it's a calming time. So these things are all sattva producing items. They will increase your sattva. They're very simple to do. And Srila Prabhupada made it all very easy for us through his books and writings and teachings. We are not telling you, like Vipassana meditation, for example, people who go morning to evening, they will expect you to fast. At the night, 8 o'clock, they'll give you 1 carrot. Because they want to detoxify your system. Actually, we don't prescribe any hard penances. In our ISKCON society, our methods are all very kevala, ananda, very enjoyable it is. Who will not like kirtans and dance classes being in the association of other devotees? So, whatever principles we teach, they are all easy to remember, easy to apply. You just have to be in good company. That's very important. Like we say, birds of the same feather flock together. Like parrots fly with parrots. Dogs live with dogs. Cats live with cats. Isn't it? Eagles fly with eagles. Similarly, devotees should live with devotees. Prabhupada says sometimes dogs quarrel also with dogs, but they don't go and live with cats. They won't live. They'll again come back to dogs only. Similarly, even if you have little tussle with devotees,